guess we've started.
I guess we have. And we are, yes, we are. We have started, folks. Okay, what's up? It's Arknolia the Doctor slash Music Maniacs with me, Arknolia Stroke a Bean, YR, and Keith the Barber there. And
Hello.
Yep.
hello, yep. And I guess we could in our discussion on rock concert festivals and
Yeah,
a
because
couple other things as well. There.
Yes.
actually I didn't do mine, and I wanted to touch on walking, WACKEN, Keith.
Yeah, the
Yes.
open air
Walking
walk-in
open air,
festivals in
which
Germany.
is
Yeah,
now called Bloodstock, correct? Bloodstock
I
open
believe
air.
so.
really,
Yes. 'Cause
really.
Priest
So they
played that
changed.
last
I think
fall.
the interesting
Friday.
thing would be to see the lineup of their very first show, which I believe was 1990.
Can you spell it again?
WACKEN, open
All right.
air.
Right. We also got to talk
Open air.
about this Gothic Industrial Festival that they have in Germany each year. It's called Mira Luna. Acts like Suicide Command, UV Nation, Sisters of Mercy, Skinny Puppy, Frontline Assembly. Many of that genre have been played at that festival many times there. You may have heard of a lady named Black Friday. It was titled "It's Black Friday."
No.
She's done a lot of vlogs from that festival, almost yearly. There, her and her, I guess, boyfriend or husband or whichever. There, they do these vlogs showing all the bands, all the activities, all the setups of stores, things that are, excuse me, things that are on sale there, like hats, clothing, bustiers, garnets, and everything there. Boots, you name it. We got to acknowledge that one there because I've been wanting to check that one out for maybe a couple of years. A friend of mine on Facebook who moved to Germany to get married to this one guy, which later divorced. She later remarried to a much better person. She told me about it, she told me, she said, one time she would like to invite me over there, but the problem is I would have to speak German. And it would take a long, long while before I learned any German. That is, the only one I know is Dankeschön, which means thank you.
And
Oh,
Farfanugan.
I got the walk-in open air lineup.
All right, nice.
Okay, 1990.
Oh no, I got it for 2019. Let me
Oh,
look up 1990.
You mean 1990? Yeah, okay, there you go.
I
There.
believe that was
Yeah.
the first year, and I
All
saw
right.
the list myself, and I was amazed by the bands that went there for the first year of this.
Wow.
Okay, Megadeth, Motorhead, Halloween, Judas Priest, Accept,
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, Scorpions, Deep Purple, UMPH, Steel Panther, Crater, Dream Theater.
Now that would have
Is-
been a show to go to.
Was that? Wait a minute. You said Steel Panther. Steel Panther
Yeah.
didn't form until late few years back, and this is 1990.
Hmm.
Yes.
Steel
Wait,
Panther. You sure? Because what year did Steel Panther form?
You want me to look that up?
Yeah, go ahead there.
2000s, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
they
that
did.
1990 list of bands, and I was like, whoa, for the first festival of this type, that's a pretty impressive lineup.
Well, of course, it was the main bands at that time. Nowadays, it would feature groups like Five Finger Death Punch, Skillet, a couple veterans like Alice Cooper. I know
Yeah.
there's a full
2000.
concert. All right.
Hey, and don't let me forget, guys. We'll throw in some rock news here.
Yeah.
Right.
On this episode
Cool.
too. Current rock news.
Including ZZ Top selling their catalog to BMG.
Yeah, 50 million.
Wow,
50
man.
million. And
Two-
then you had
oh.
Bruce Springsteen sold it for 500 million. So
Wow, there.
I would think ZZ Tops would be a little worth more, but and then Bob Dylan, he sold his for 300 million.
Wow.
So I mean, not recently, just in general. So Springsteen got more than Bob Dylan.
Wow,
Which is
wow.
amazing because Dylan's
Okay,
catalog's
I
bigger.
found another
Yeah.
list from 1990 for the
Walk-in open air.
Open air. Okay, it's Fifth Avenue, Axon Sex, Moto Slug, Sackett Season, Skyline, and Wizard.
Ah, I see there.
Needless to say, all the name bands at one time or another hit walking.
Hmm. A lot of them hit walking. Everybody's hit walking. Even I
Dawkins.
get yes, yeah, I mean, they played
You
there a
know, the
couple
newer,
times.
not none with George Lynch, but you know,
The current
current.
lineup was just
Yeah.
Don with a whole bunch of other dudes there. All right, so
And
I
we
already
need,
met. I already. No, go
okay,
ahead.
we did, well, I know we did YR and Dave Rose
Hmm.
concerts and experiences and such.
Yeah.
Did we do you, Dr. Earl? I know we didn't do
Well,
me.
I already did my list of best concerts, worst concerts yesterday there, but there was a whole bunch. I can list all the bands. For the past many years, it was most of the concerts I've seen were either local acts for the Detroit area,
Well,
but a
let's leave
couple
it to
nationals.
semi-national bands.
Okay, there. Bands that were up and coming, that were just breaking out. That started out in the clubs, like the Bullet Boys. The place was packed when I was in front row to see them. I remember Paul Stanley did a solo tour back in 1998 at the Ritz, a Friday and Saturday gig there. The
That's
second
what
one,
that's what kind of blows about like nowadays. That obviously 70s, 80s to an extent, depending on the group or
yeah,
singer or whatever. You could see these acts in small venues.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like Metallica did a couple smaller shows, for their club. Did you see that,
yeah,
Earl? Like for the fan club, they did a couple small venues,
yeah,
and a couple other groups did it too. I think it may have been System of Down. I mean, like or Tool or
yeah,
someone did like. I mean, it was rare, like just 2,000 seat shows, but sometimes they
yeah,
do that, and it's very very rare because you always see these bigger groups in these huge arenas. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But I gotta tell you this one little story there. Local favorite, a band called the Trash Brats, was playing St. Andrews Hall one Saturday evening there. And one of the opening acts that played there was a at that time unknown group called Tool.
Hmm.
Yes, and that's been talked about for many years. That the story there after Tool broke big with that song "Sober" and "Prison Sex." I mean, those two songs were heavily played on the radio at the Leland City Club, at the shelter underneath St. Andrews, by the way. Many clubs were playing those songs left and right there. Those are big songs there.
You ever heard that group? I listened to a song of them today. You ever heard that a group called Saxon?
Yeah, yes, I have. I remember, Princess of the Night,
That's the exact song
Denim
I
and
saw, I
Leather.
heard. Yeah, what I
Yeah,
heard.
Denim and Leather. I had one of their cassettes titled Innocence is No Excuse. So it's a pretty good album. Like the hit single from that was a track called Fallen Heroes. I kind of like an ode to all those who served but never really got any recognition. It's just been left out to dry.
Right.
It's kind of like
Kind of
Sammy
make
Hagar's Remember the Heroes.
absolutely there, which by the way featured Mike Reno of Loverboy on co-vocaling there. Very good song. Both of them extremely badass tracks there.
Okay, we all talked about our first concerts, I know.
Yes, we have.
I mean,
Very,
I've been to two rock concerts.
LC, there
Um,
was one of them.
yeah, and then Jason Aldean, he does country rock.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but
And
we know that. Yeah.
Okay.
and I think most of them said the very last concert we were at, or did we? I know I didn't.
Now, I think I mentioned this before. The last concert I went to was at the Concert Pub North. It was last year. It was when they had this Motley Crue tribute group playing there. Got a
How did
couple of
those
pictures
group?
in it.
How do like? Is it better? Are the singers better than the real singers usually? Like, you compare it like a Motley Crue one to Vince Neil.
They don't really sound exactly like
Ah,
there, but at least
dang.
but you got to give them credit for they have been singing way better than what Vince Neil has. Because you heard about this, he was doing a solo show there, and he just excuse my coughing. I think it's part of this issue here. My bad. Now, Vince Neil had to cut his set short because he said, "Fuck it, my voice is shot. I'm sorry," and he walked off stage. I think
Oh,
it
this
was
recent time?
yeah, recently,
Yeah,
yes,
I remember
a
that.
couple months back there, and I cannot imagine how pissed off members of the crew, all the opening acts, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan
Yeah.
Jett, and the Blackhearts, and all the promoters and fans who have been waiting patiently for the crew to start touring again because this was their big reunion tour since 2015. They broke up since that. They've been doing other things. I know
And
Mick
that Dirt
Mars.
movie, because I was reading on it because they signed the contract where they would never tour again. And
Yeah,
that Dirt movie came out and it was so popular, that it was like they had to. They had to
yeah,
do it one last thing. Tour.
absolutely. I guess they were. They were when something makes big, like a documentary or a movie about the band. Rest assured, interest in that band will definitely take height. It worked for Queen when the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out. It worked for the Monkees when MTV did a all-day Monkees marathon. And this happened with the Motley Crue with the Dirt movie there. Now, if Vince Neil decides to finally get in shape and start singing again, we'll have to wait and see. For so far, the tours have been postponed again until actually next year.
Would you care to go to that?
I would like to check it out, as long as
Poison's always good live. Def Leppard's always good live. So you got that going.
yeah.
And like Def Leppard tours all the time, so it's not really like it is a big deal, but they tour all the time, so like anyone can see a Leppard show. But like
that's how that's how they usually earn most of their revenue.
Since it's just like when you go to concerts at these stadiums, like the football stadiums, it's a pain in the ass, bro.
I know.
Really, it's a pain in the ass. Parking's double price. I mean, there's a shitload of people, which is cool, but
that's why it's usually best to wait a couple years before the hype dies down to see them when they come to play the clubs. Like, for instance, Quiet Riot. They did a show in 1994 at the old Ritz in Roseville. There was not a lot of people there, but it was good to see them perform again with Kevin DeBro years before his 2007 passing. Carlos Cavazio, my bad. I got the two mixed up because they both have the same initials there. Carlos Cavazio, who was back there playing the guitar with them. They didn't have Rudy Sarzo. I guess he was doing something else at the time. I know there were a lot of shows I wanted to see at the concert pub, like a thing called Gunzo, which featured Rudy Sarzo and Tracy Guns from LA Guns there. But I guess the tickets were the admission was about $75. I'm like, are you seriously?
Fuck all that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The last concert I saw was in 2012, 2013, something like that. I saw McCartney at Texas Stadium.
Nice. I'll bet the
original Texas Stadium or like the new?
No, the new one in Arlington.
I see him, and I'll bet
In fact, I believe he was the second act that ever played there.
Oh.
What Beatles songs did he play?
Let's see, Sgt. Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour, Drive My Car. Let's see what else.
No early stuff?
Drive My Car is about as early as it got.
Yeah.
The last concert I went to was Seether in 2017.
Yeah.
Isn't Drive My Car on Rubber Soul or no?
Well, the new version, yes. The original UK version that's now released in America. But the one I remember was on the Yesterday and Today, the US version of that album. I had that album for Christmas. My
Yo,
mom got that
have
for
y'all
me.
seen that documentary on Disney Plus, the Beatles thing?
Yeah, I want
No,
to
not
watch
yet, but
that.
I want to see it.
They
Yeah,
say it's
fuck
like
yeah.
9 hours long, and it's like really
Wow,
you have
I
to
want to
be like
watch,
I mean, I'm a big Beatles fan, so
dude. I
they
want
say
to
if you're
see
not
that
like a
so
huge
bad.
Beatles fan, it might be a little, but
Well, I
like
saw the
the
entire anthology. That was great.
Oh wow.
however they got the camera, it's clear. It's like ultra HD, like this new documentary. It's like
Yeah, they
crazy.
did
It
a
almost
lot.
looks like they shot it yesterday.
Yeah, they had to do a lot of work to make it a brand new once again to appeal to the audience today. And I guess it says a little more lighter side of the Beatles during that time there, because around if you ever saw the Let It Be movie,
Yeah.
you could see that the Beatles were kind of like
You
really
could see the
this was
cracks.
starting to form there.
Yep.
You know, so hopefully this. Apologize for my cough, and I guess I've been doing that a lot lately since this whole bullshit with my neck started going down this past weekend. And yes, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, my most surprising concert is I saw a retro concert at Texas
Oh,
Stadium, which was the
yes, I
baseball
did.
field. The Not the
Oh,
Turnpike Stadium, but the other one.
oh wow.
Oh yeah, it was
Yep.
Turnpike Stadium. Come to think of it, so that
Ah,
tells you how
that's
long ago it was. But I got to see Gary Puckett in the Union Gap, the
all right.
Grassroots, and the Monkees. Of course,
Oh
it was just the
wow.
three of them without Michael Nesmith. But
Yeah,
they did that right after a baseball game, and I was like, "Hey, this is worth it." It turned out to
yeah,
be a very good concert. I was really surprised.
yeah. And by the way, speaking of monkeys, rest in peace to Michael Nesmith, who passed away a couple weeks back from heart failure. And he was a Houston native, if I'm correct.
I believe you're correct.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I would have loved to meet the guy sometime soon, but unfortunately
We're
now,
gonna meet in a couple days, motherfucker. Hope you get better
I
within that
hope so
time.
too, man. I hope so as well there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
don't want to
spot
meet
on.
him right
Listen,
now.
I know.
the discreet location, private location. It's
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of cool places to hang out. Like it's
Yeah, I know.
really new and nice and shit. Like there's a couple. I'll tell you off there, Doctor Brown. Like this,
All right, gotcha.
we'll be from a secret live private location. Me and Doctor Brown on Friday. Friday,
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve celebration.
All right, nice. Yeah,
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I'm still hoping to do this, man. And I really
Oh,
am.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
little gift for you as well.
Oh, wow, I appreciate
Yes.
that. Yay.
Harold, what artist have you seen the most in concert?
Skinny
Mm.
Puppy. Skinny Puppy, the industrial rock icons from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
And I think you told
I've
us YR, didn't you?
Um, Kiss 3 times, and then Jimmy Buffett a bunch of times, and Trans-Siberian Orchestra a bunch of times. My last
Yeah.
concert was the Eagles
Oh,
a couple
yeah.
years ago. Right, it was like a month before COVID came into play, basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
I have several artists that I've seen more than once, but I think the one that I saw the most was Robin Trower
Oh, yeah.
because I've
Yeah, you
seen
had mentioned that couple times there.
I've seen McCartney twice actually,
Hmm.
and I've seen Yes twice, Moody Blues twice, but I saw Trower 3 times.
Yeah.
One time in a small club at a place that is no more called the Bronco Bowl, one of the clubs
Hmm.
inside of it. And then I saw him in the theater downtown Dallas. And then
Right.
I saw him down in Austin. I don't remember the name of the place, but he actually played with Peter Frampton. So
Oh,
I got
yeah,
to
all
see
right.
Frampton, then followed with Trower.
Right. I remember seeing Iron Maiden at 3 times, twice at the in 1985 during the World Slavery Tour. The first was at the
Damn,
Joe
bro, that's
Louis.
crazy.
The first was in the Joe Louis Arena with my best friend Dennis, and the second was at the Pine Knob Music Theater, when it was still called that.
Hey,
My dad went with me, took me there, and he loved the show. He absolutely loved the show there, especially when with the lights, especially
Well, I
especially
guess,
with Eddie coming out from behind that huge mechanical Eddie as well. There, he would loved that.
yeah, and actually, I guess I saw Frampton twice because I saw him in Bass Hall in Fort
Hmm.
Worth, which is a symphony, where they do symphonies, and the sound quality in that place was unreal, really good. And they had balconies too, which was cool.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was actually sitting in the balcony, and it was a good concert. And I saw Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young twice, although
Nice.
one of the times was without the Young.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't always show up with those guys a lot of times. He's doing his own thing there.
Thing I
A
remember
lot.
most about the one with him was he was playing a keyboard organ type thing. I don't know exactly what it was, and
Hmm.
did After the Gold Rush, and it sounded
Oh,
awesome.
well, wow, there. What are those different sounding pianos? I guess it was right.
Well, it sounded more like an organ without sounding like an organ.
Oh wow, I see what you're talking about there.
But he played that and did After the Gold Rush, and I was like, oh man, I'd love to see if they would have recorded that. That would have been great. But I
Yeah.
guess they never did because I can't find it.
Wow. Should probably check it out on YouTube to see because so many concerts often get recorded and posted on YouTube. There, it's like you don't need to buy a bootleg from a store anymore. There, you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Then I also saw the Guess Who and Joe Cocker, and had third row seats for that one.
Really? What
Yeah.
year?
Oh gosh. Well, obviously before Cocker died. Uh,
Oh,
2001,
Also, kind of early still.
2, somewhere in that range.
I still gotta ask you guys, like y'all might. I mean, like Brown seeing Maiden in the '80s, and then you saw Maiden a couple years ago. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I wished I had a list somewhere of all the concerts I've seen. Because, I mean, I've seen like Styx, Leonard Skinner. Well, without Ronnie Van Zant, obviously.
Yeah, the new with Johnny in his place there.
Right. I've
Right.
seen
Now hold
38
on,
Special.
hold on
I've
a
seen
second
Cheap
there,
Trick.
Art. Now you said Joe Cocker died.
I thought he
Yeah.
did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He
I can.
is. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I
He
think in
did
the
die.
late. Keith, can you look that up? I think in the late,
He died
maybe in
in
the late
2014.
2000s.
He
Yeah,
died in
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
2014.
look it up
Wow.
like in a minute.
But
Are you
that
thinking
was a
of
great
poop?
concert.
No, I'm pissing.
Oh,
Oh,
flush the
thank you for
toilet and
sharing.
Yeah.
and make.
Oh, thank you for that, too.
Yeah. I was saying, oh please, mute yourself when you flush the toilet for crying out loud, dude.
Hey,
Just,
I'm
just
out.
see, I saw Cheap Trick. That was a great
And did
concert.
you wash your hands?
Yeah, I did.
He
Mm.
does.
All right, there.
Saw,
That
I
S-
did
must
get
be
the
what we
booster
heard.
today, guys. I did get the booster.
saw
All right. And
Styx.
Alright.
explain this booster, by the way, YR. Is it like something that goes along with the vaccine there?
Yeah, just like I guess boost up. Keith, can you explain it? I really don't. I just do what
I
the
don't
government
know.
tells me
I don't know what it is.
at this point.
I got mine
It's
about
like
a month and a half
it's
ago,
like
I
a
think.
I think a flu shot is a booster shot.
Well, like
It's
I gotta
something
go
that
to
you
the
have to get
fucking Judas
once a
Priest
year.
concert, bro, and they're gonna say like, "Oh, you gotta have the booster to be fully vaccinated, or get a test." And getting a
I
test is
see
a pain
that.
in the ass because the lines are like 2 or 3 hours long. You gotta wait in
Yeah.
the
Well,
car
have,
and
have
shit.
any of you guys ever had the test?
Mm-mm.
I never had the
They
test
tickle
either,
your
but
brain. Seriously, they stick like a
Uh,
Q-tip thing way the hell up your nose and swab inside your nose, and it is
Art,
not
Yeah.
fun. I've had it twice.
Art, do you have the
damn.
vaccine or no?
Yeah, I've got the vaccine and the booster.
Ah,
I
see,
got I
a
got
lot of
the I
people.
got the I actually got the vaccine. I got the twice at my place at the third time at a different store there.
That's very important, bro. Like that's going into like that's very important in the music industry. This COVID, like even this damn stadium tour. Like yeah, they're billing it for this next year, but
Oh, and I
even
saw
if they
Eric
pull it off,
Clapton
I
in
mean,
concert.
And you got I know they want I know the bands are all gunning for it because they want to have their audience back because gosh, I mean, I understand you had to stay home, but geez, you want to be out there performing, you want to be out there doing things, you want to be
Yeah.
out there playing a bunch of people there. I mean, doing lockdown sessions from your home place is fine, but at the same time, you miss having that crowd. You miss seeing crowds of people at the other side of that microphone.
I saw Eric Clapton about 10, 15 years ago.
Who did you want to know when died?
Joe
Yeah,
Cocker.
I read. Yeah, I read already. I got the information. I totally
Oh,
forgot about that. It was in 2014. It's been a lot of years. So
And I saw The Who about 15 years ago.
nice.
And I've seen
oh, so you got
Wallflowers.
Joe
Hello.
Cochran died in
Hello.
2014.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yes, earlier.
Okay.
So special guest wants to give his concert list. OR is here. He's going to give his
All
list.
right.
Here we go.
AOR. What
Good
is
evening,
happening?
guys. Good evening. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good, dude. How's it hanging?
Oh, it's hanging. You know how it is, you know. But yeah, y'all were talking about concerts. I went to almost anybody that was anybody back in the 70s.
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen them all.
All right.
The very first concert I ever went to was back in 1975. It was the Beach Boys in Chicago.
Mm.
Wow. That's a group I would have loved to have seen.
And then followed up by the Doobie Brothers.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, that was back in 74. In 75, Bruce Springsteen came to town, and I'd heard of him, and I heard some things about his, he got big and famous, but he had two concerts in downtown Houston in 75 and went to, and I've seen him probably about 8 times. The Eagles, best concert ever is the Eagles.
Oh yeah, with the original line, with the original, some of the original lineup, the lineup that we all know with the late Glenn Fry, Don Henley, Joel Walsh. I think it was Timothy B. Schmidt didn't join at that time. I think it was still Randy Meyer,
Right.
if I'm correct.
Right.
And I did mention Don Felder, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
All right there, yeah.
Went and saw the Eagles a few years ago, a couple of years ago, and they sound just as good as they did back in the 70s.
Nice.
I mean, they came out and played the Hotel California, the whole album, front and back,
Wow.
and then they said we're going to take an intermission and come back and play the rest of what y'all know. They came back and played like another 25 songs.
Oh wow.
Concert lasted till midnight.
Wow. Interesting there.
Yeah.
The only band I usually figured did that was Pink Floyd and Roger Waters. Roger Waters usually did 2 sets in his shows there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Pink
And,
Floyd as well there.
Rolling Stones, seen them twice
Nice.
back in the late '80s. Yeah, Rolling Stones. I mean, Queen when Freddie Mercury was Queen. I saw him in 1976.
Wow.
Sam Houston Coliseum, Houston.
Nice.
You just name them all. I mean, I've seen them all. Even some of the black singers. I can't remember the guy's name. What's his name? That he used to sing "This Masquerade" and
George Benson.
George Benson. George Benson.
George Benson. Seen him. Of course, what do you call it? The guy that's been around forever, the Spanish guy,
Carlos Santana.
Santana. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. There you go.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them too. That was a good concert.
Nice.
Yeah. Didn't see the Beatles, but I saw Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he put on a great show back then. Still does. They said that even at 80 years old, he comes out and plays for 3.5 hours.
Didn't his
Nice.
wife had hairy armpits?
Absolutely. That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
I was
Linda. Wow.
At the very front. The very
Wow.
front of that show in 1976, they came through Houston at the Summit, and It was standing room only on the floor, and I was right at the very first row. I mean, she was right in front of me. But
Was it Paul McCartney and Wings? Because Wings was still functioning at that time. There, I guess it was
yeah,
a
it was
Wings America
Paul,
tour.
Paul McCartney and Wings for sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
and
remember seeing the concert movie many times. It was a couple times on syndication TV. Excuse me, and another time on the Access TV channel there a couple years
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
And I
absolutely.
guess the hairy armpits for women was a big thing back then, you know.
Well, it was in England. In England, from my understanding, the women don't shave under their armpits. Maybe still don't. I don't know.
Oh wow, I don't
Back,
know.
back then, they didn't.
Wow,
So
interesting there.
yeah, it's just if you're not used to seeing it, it's kind of weird. But
Oh, it is.
the world has changed in the last 40 years. So
I
it's
know. Now these days, your women don't have hairy cooches no more. They all shave them off there.
that's right.
Yep. And any
Jesus
hair
Christ, Brown. Come on.
well, it's true,
Inappropriate.
Yeah,
It's good.
but it's a fact.
yeah. Times are changing.
I know.
But yeah, I've pretty well seen them all. And again, the music they make nowadays, to me, it's here today, gone tomorrow. Uh, the stuff that came out in the 70s, they're still playing it 40, 50 something years later. And
Nice.
they always will. So anyway, I'll give you back to YR.
All right.
Wanted to throw my 10 cents in there.
All right. Thanks for stopping in and give us this info. We appreciate that, man.
Anytime, anytime.
All right. Sweet. All right. OR, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. And I guess YR's going to rejoin, I guess. It said he left. I guess he'll be back in a second there.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
Oh yeah,
Good,
and I've
good,
seen
yeah.
Chicago.
You
Nice.
seen Chicago?
Yeah, after Satara left.
Yeah.
The coolest thing that I remember about that particular concert is they played the entire ballet for a girl in Buchanan,
Mm.
which I guess they don't do very often because it's
Oh,
like a
wow.
string of 7 songs.
Oh, wow. It's kind of go sweet when you think about it, like Adam Hart Mother.
Yeah, well, that's the one that starts with "Make Me Smile" and then goes through, like I said, about 6, 7 songs, including
I
"Color
see
My
that.
World," uh,
Ah,
and ends with "Now More Than Ever," which is actually a reprise of "Make Me Smile."
oh.
Well, you're familiar with the song, hopefully.
Some of them, yes. I know Color My World, I think a couple other songs there. They still play some Chicago songs at the does anybody know what time it is? They usually play that at the grocery place that I work at there. Do the
Well, real
little,
quick question:
yeah.
do you think Chicago kind of lost their way after album 6 or 7, something like that? Trying to remember
I
which
think
one
it,
it was.
I think they kind of like I think they kind of I know that's a tough question to ask because when they became massively bigger in the 1980s with the songs like "You're the Inspiration,"
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
"Hard for Me
changed.
to," they kind of changed, and you got to credit David Foster for that, their producer at that time. He had this, excuse me,
Well, they went
Smoking a big old
from
doobie.
the very first album, Chicago Transit Authority, which was definitely prog,
yes,
into more of a lighter vein, but it really was still hard and heavy music. Maybe wasn't proggy, but it was
yeah,
close. And then somewhere along the line, they kind of changed over into a top 40 band.
yeah, they did more like. I know they were mostly played on the soft rock stations up until then.
I mean, if you ask me about my favorite stuff by them, well, I definitely like that. Excuse me. I definitely
Right.
liked that first album, Chicago Transit Authority, because that
Yeah.
one was heavy prog, and it was really nice. And I did like some of the other stuff from the other albums. Chicago
Right.
5 appealed to me. I like that because I love dialogue, parts 1 and 2.
Ah.
That
What?
thing
Go ahead there.
where they sing back and forth, Kath and Cetera.
All right.
Kind of like it. Well, it was a dialogue.
Yeah. And don't, let's not forget Satira and Kat did co-vocals on their cover version of I'm a Man for their first album there,
Yeah,
which is pretty badass. I remember hearing it on the radio many years back when I was way before I reached my teenage years. It was like, holy cow, this is pretty good stuff there, you know? Do they even do stuff like that nowadays? Probably not, because they have to stick with the hits, the power, the ballads there, like the ones I
Yeah.
mentioned.
yeah, and Cetera's not even with them anymore.
I know. It's like, it was like a divorce, I guess. He took some of his songs with him. I guess he went solo, had a couple of hit songs here and there by himself. Including that one with Amy Grant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny is, they even try. Here's something else I got to bring up there. And this really is idiotic of the record label. But then again, the record label, they always concentrate on the big stuff that sells.
right.
If a band's been known for selling records through ballads, they're going to expect ballads from the band constantly all the time there.
Right.
They made this album. It was a lot more jazz, a lot more upbeat. It was a lot more powerful. The record company hated it because there were no ballads on it. They despised it. And that's when they departed ways with the record label.
Nice.
Now they have a thing called Chicago Music. It's what they're assigned to right now. I guess where they own the copyrights this time there, because the major bigwigs own the copyrights of all the bands there, except a few exceptions there. And it's just, but the thing with the record company is that they expect the same thing from the artist all the time, whether it's a song, whether it's another example. Quiet Riot. Remember how big, Come On Feel the Noise was back in 1983? A year later, the
Yeah.
record company suggested another Slade cover for them to do. Mama, We're All Crazy Now. They expected that to take off like Come On Feel the Noise did. Exactly, didn't really work out that way. I mean, the second record that they put out, Condition Critical, didn't exactly catch that fire that the first album did there. They had a song called Sign of the Times that was kind of rearranged the same way Mental Health, Bang Your Head was.
Oh, bang you.
So,
If you get a chance, go onto YouTube and look up something called Lamb Chop of God.
oh,
There's a
and
song
that's by
called Bang Your
Chicago.
Head, and it's weird because it's actually puppets.
Oh, wow.
It's really, I mean, it's just weird. Song's not half bad, but
Yeah.
it's just weird to
It's
see
a cover?
puppets.
It's
Oh
a
no,
cover?
it's an original.
Oh, wow. Because what I thought, when you mentioned Bang Your Head, I thought it
I
was
know
the
you're
Quiet
probably
Riot
thinking
song. Yeah.
either
I
that
remember
or
when I remember when he passed. Um,
Kevin DeBro,
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
what? It was like in the 2000s, maybe later 2000s.
2007.
Yeah, remember that drug overdose too, right?
It was cocaine related. I know
Yeah.
that.
yeah, it's actually Slade was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah. And they're still together, I think they are. But I think
Yeah.
it had some lineup change, I think it was. Their frontman, Naughty Holder's no longer with them, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I'm not real sure, but I actually thought Slade was good.
Oh, I had a couple of their records there. Slade in Flame, Nobody's Fools,
Yeah, that was
Slated.
the one with the red noses, right?
Yep, that was one. Good song like a Goodbye to Jane. That was a good song there.
Yeah,
Which a band called Britney Fox later covered on their first record years later on down the line. Yeah. I know Keith is wondering, who I should look up these artists, and start listening to them.
Yeah, we're sitting here talking about a bunch of people. Keith's back there going, "Who? What?"
Ha.
Now I'm looking up Santana's albums.
Oh yeah, they
Oh, good
released a
lord, there's
lot
a
of them,
ton of them.
lots of them.
Yeah, what do you think about the album Santana Supernatural?
Ooh.
Top
bad.
40, top
Oh,
40
yeah.
for me. But here's another thing that really
The best one
going
was
back-
the second one, I believe it is.
Supernatural.
No, Abraxas.
Abraxas, one with Blair cover of Black Magic Woman, the Fleetwood
Right.
Mac song.
But it had other
Gypsy
good songs.
Queen. Oh, yeah,
Incident
Como
in
Va.
Neshabur.
What
My
do you
pers-
think about the Santana Shaman that came out in 2002?
Hmm.
I'm not real familiar with that one.
It was the same
Oh.
thing as Supernatural. Remember,
Oh,
going
yeah.
back to the topic I was talking about earlier, when when an artist hits big with a certain thing there, the company encourages them to keep doing it over and over and over.
Like
Yeah.
the same, like the same like kind of sound or whatever, right?
Yeah, the more top
Yeah.
40 sound, multiple singers on one different track there, whether it's Steven Tyler, Everlast, Rob Thomas, you name it.
Eminem.
Yeah, all those artists, contributed on a few Santana albums as of late.
Yep.
Yeah, Santana had a success. I don't remember the name of the album, but it's the one with Smooth on it with Rob Thomas.
Supernatural. That's the
Supernatural.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
that
one on it.
that all hit so big that it was like, let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing this. Come on.
Yeah, and after a while, it gets on your nerves. It's like, geez, want to break away from that, but the record company will probably jump down your throat if you do that because they want hits. Hits bring in money. Hits bring in revenue. They're there to sell
Yep.
records and nothing else.
Right.
If an act comes out there and says, this does something atrocious like burn the stage of a festival they're about to play, the company is going to back that.
Yes.
The records afterwards, to see what the controversy is about. The same thing with Body Count with Ice-T, the song Cop Killer. When that song became notorious, Sire Records, which Ice-T was recording for at the time, figured they would boost a lot more album sales because of that
right.
song. Absolutely.
Booster.
Yeah.
Booster.
Yeah.
All right.
Cop
you're
Killer
getting
was
the
that
booster?
booster. Me?
No, Keith, you getting the booster?
Yeah, I have an appointment for 2 weeks from now.
Thank God. You know what's fucked up now? I'm gonna tell y'all
What?
this.
Go
Well, it
ahead.
depends on how they wrote it on your card, because like on mine they put a sticker like it says Moderna on it, like a sticker, and then they you write the date in. Well, they gave me a second card because there's no more room. There's like 2 more slots
Wow.
to fill in 2 more vaccines, but like it's covered because of the sticker they put on. They gave me another
Wow.
vaccine card, so now you got to walk around with 2 vaccine cards.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
got my original and in the back. In the booster, I got a
Actually, I
second
have-
card.
They know we're gonna have to take shots every 6 months. We're gonna have 50 cards, 45 different cards. Watch.
Wow.
Yep. Never mind.
Go ahead, Keith.
Oh no, I was gonna say something, but I'm not 100% if it's true. Not 100% sure if it's true.
Not confirmed.
Yep. I can't even say it
Go
because
ahead.
someone's gonna call me out on it.
What?
What is it? Tell us. If they call you out, they
I
call you
believe
out.
I believe Devious Davros said it's gonna be like the people wearing the Jewish star back in the late 1930s. Although I don't 100% remember if he said that or not, or if it was about this topic or something. I don't know.
It kind of reminds me of the Sneetches. That's Dr. Seuss story there. I remember hearing about it as a kid. You have to have a star in your belly to be a part of this group. You have to have a star in your belly to take part of the festivities here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what
And
was
that's
the
what-
news there, YR?
Oh yeah. Well, we did. You did cover that the ZZ Top thing, Brown.
Well, we
and
did,
then
man. a little bit there. We didn't read the full story, but I think it was about what was it again? What was it? 15 million, 10 million there.
And
Sold it
then
for that amount. About
no, 50 million for ZZ
50
Top.
million.
50 million for
Wow.
ZZ Top. And
Now
then
we talked about this earlier. Sorry for the coughing, man. My mute mode doesn't really moke on here. Doesn't work, I should say. But the problem is, it's to me the songs are like your children, and it's like in a lot of ways you're selling your children, and because this is the songs that's going to bring you money, and now they're going to be controlled by somebody else. Now BMG, as you know, bought up the entire Fleetwood Mac catalog. I don't know if it's only the Buckingham Nicks lineup.
Oh, here it
or
is.
the original ones. Go ahead.
all right, Keith,
Yes.
look up the on Blabbermouth. Sammy Hagar was asked to replace Philip on Somno on Pantera.
Oh, really?
Alright.
Yeah, I can look that up. Sammy
Yeah.
Hagar replacement Pantera Blabbermouth, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then obviously, let's touch on this. Metallica's 40th anniversary. They did a shitload of shows this past week,
Oh, wow.
like in
That's
San
right.
Francisco. I mean, they did from like early stuff to the latest, and then they reversed it like the next night or whatever. Latest
All right.
to a lot of deep
All right, I got-
tracks, a lot of stuff off Reload that they haven't played.
Oh.
Which I do. What do you think about that album, Reload? I love Reload
Well,
and Load.
Reload. Well, Load has some pretty good songs there, as well as Reload. Ain't My Bitch, 2x4, pretty good ones. King Nuffin is we could
Yeah,
direct
they
that
played
to a
that
couple of
one
losers.
on that celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course stuff like The Memory Remains, which by the way featured a different singer doing backup vocals for the first time, Marianne Faithfull.
Wow.
Yeah, she's in the video just as well there.
I got the article.
She's got to be
Okay.
60 years old.
I
Go
believe
ahead,
so.
Poop.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
go ahead,
Poopy.
Keith. Go ahead,
Sammy
Keith.
Hagar says he was asked to join Pantera as a replacement for Philip Anselmo. Asamo. Sirius XM's Jose Magan recently interviewed Sammy Hagar in the limo, which was gifted to Jose from the estates of Pantera founders Dimebag Darrell Abbott and Vinnie Paul Abbott. Jose has
Abbott.
worked
Abbott. The fuck
Yeah,
did you say?
Abbott.
Abbott.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude.
And then look
It's
up this
spelled-
story next. Look up this story
Abbott.
next, Keith. I'm sitting in the chat.
It's
Glenn
spelled
Tipton.
Abbot. It looks like Abbott.
Abbott.
Okay, Abbott.
Abbott.
Jose has worked hard to restore the car and plans to take it all across the country and have epic hangs and chats with all of his buddies to reimmerse about his dear friends who many of us still hold so dear. In an interview clip which was posted on December 8th, which marked the 17th anniversary of Dimebag's death, Sammy recalled a time when he was supposedly approached by Pantera's then manager about joining the band, apparently as a replacement for Philip Anselmo.
Asamo. Yeah.
How about if I tell you something crazy? I don't believe it. I don't believe it's true, Sammy said, as transcribed by blabbermouth.net. But Pantera had a manager. This was before I actually became friends with Vinny. And the manager said, Pantera, he said, want me to be the lead singer of the band. And he asked me, would you be interested? And I said, no, not after my split with Van Halen in 1996.
Wait, hold on. Pause.
Wow.
Did y'all know that Eddie Van Halen asked, like this, I forget her name, but it was like a woman singer after the David Lee Roth split to be the singer of Van Halen. I
Really?
forget her. Yeah, it was like a woman. If anyone can look that up in the chat or anything, it was a famous woman singer. And I guess it didn't fall through, and they obviously got Sammy Hagar.
Hagar,
But
yeah.
that is a true story. If y'all want to look that up,
Was it Nicolette Lawson?
I'm not sure if I heard the name, then I would know for sure. So if anyone wants to, maybe
Because
Drew in the
it-
chat, if he wants to.
Now,
What-
because Nicolette Larson, you remember her
I doubt it was her.
song? Yep. I guess she had close ties with the Van Halen brothers there. I guess that she was one of the bridesmaids when Eddie got married to Valerie Bertinelli.
Yes.
Hmm. And I guess, and
Keith,
believe it or
go
not,
ahead.
and believe it or
Oh,
not,
You
Go
want me
ahead,
to
Brown,
keep
and
reading?
then Keith's going to finish up the article, and then we have a new Judas Priest news about Glenn
all right,
Tipton,
there,
new photo.
all right,
Uh,
how he's
oh wait,
doing?
real quick, Drew, can you look up the woman's name? She was gonna be like Eddie Van Halen wanted her to be the lead singer after the David Lee Roth split in 1984. Van Halen.
I remember hearing that they were going to get a bunch of different singers, like a well-known singers, like Phil Collins, this person, that person, and do the same thing Jeff Beckett did at that time.
So pay attention, Derailed. Can you look up the name of the woman who Eddie Van Halen asked to be the lead singer of Van Halen after
All
the
right, I
David Lee
just put
Roth
something
split?
in it. I just
Yes.
put something in the Skype chat. It's a track by Nicolette Larson called "Can't Get Away from You." Features Eddie Van Halen on guest guitar.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeff Beck, and you're right. He was famous for a lot of times different singers on two or a single album or two albums or whatever. They
That's
seemed
right.
to always be changing singers.
One of
Right.
them, Rod Stewart, his old buddy there. Remember the cover version of "People Get Ready,"
Yeah,
which was a big hit on the radio there.
and of course he was the lead singer on the first two albums by Beck,
Yep. Jeff Beck
Truth and
group.
Beckola.
Yep. Ain't Superstitious, which is a good song there.
Oh yeah,
We should get Drew on the call here.
Patti Smith.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
wow.
Patti Smith.
Oh, wow.
Y'all know who
That-
that is?
Yeah,
Yes, I remember who she is. Yeah, she was the, I guess she's from New York City, I guess it was.
I think she did. Well, the song I remember, I think, was "Warriors." Is that correct?
The one I remember was one she went with Springsteen, "Because the Night." That
Yeah.
was a big hit.
Yeah,
I remember she also got married to Fred Sonic Smith from the MC5. That marriage lasted throughout many years, and she lived in Michigan for many years, married to the guy until his death. She had a son named Jackson, who's in a couple bands there. I guess she moved back to New York City soon after his death there. I remember seeing her do a performance at the Magic Bag Theater in Ferndale there. You know, it's pretty good stuff there.
Is it Smith or Smeeth? Drew?
Smythe, right?
No, that's Patty Smythe.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one
Oh,
you're
Smythe.
talking about.
We got
Oh,
Smith, Smith, and Smythe.
The one dude, you got me confused there because I thought you were talking about the punk poet.
I don't know who it is. Do y'all know? But did y'all know the Smythe one?
Well, Patty Smythe was the singer for the band Scandal. They had this couple hit songs like "Love's Got a Line on You" and "Goodbye to You," and of course she did that one song, "The Warrior," back in I guess in '85, '86. That was a big song there. It was
Yeah, that was the one I remember.
when you said Patti Smith, I thought it was the one of the original punk poets there because she did a lot of poetry. She did close work with the late William Burroughs. She looked up to him extensively there. All right.
Keith, can you follow along with the article, please? Thank you. And then after that, the Judas Priest, Glenn Tipton news. Thank you, article.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Keith.
All right.
Let me get back to it. Okay. I'm not gonna join another band, especially covering for somebody else, and this and that. And I brought it up to Vinny one time. He didn't remember it, but I don't know if there's any truth to that. This is not the first time Hagar had discussed being offered the singer gig in Pantera. Back in 2011, he told Forbes, I was asked at one time to be in Motley Crue. I was asked at one time to
wow.
be in Pantera by their managers. I was asked to be in Velvet Revolver when Scott Weiland quit and went back to the Stone Temple Pilots. I was waiting to be asked to be in Led Zeppelin to say no, since they were the greatest band on earth and no could replace Robert Plant. I was asked to be in Aerosmith and I said no. He continued, certain bands and certain frontman singers are more difficult to replace than others. Steven Tyler and that band have stayed together for 40 years and
You don't
to
replace
walk
Steven Tyler.
Yeah, I
and
know.
you don't to walk into something like that. They had one moment years ago when they replaced Joe Perry, but it's still always been Steven at the front of Aerosmith. You don't
Yeah.
replace that. When I came into Van Halen, it was easy because David Lee Roth wasn't a great singer, but he was a good frontman, Hager explained. In those times, I was selling out the same arenas they were. So it was like the combination of two forces and it worked, but it's a rare thing. We were all lucky that the fans accepted it and it got bigger. I would avoid bands that are going to break up pretty soon. In a 2015 question and answer season at the DFW Acura Performance Showroom in Dallas, Texas, Vinnie Paul said that Van Halen was a huge influence on him when he first started playing drums. Eddie and Alex Van Halen inspired me and my brother Dimebag so much, he said it was really just unbelievable the parallels that we had between ourselves. In a lasting sign of deep respect, Eddie Van Halen donated the black and yellow tape striped guitar picture on the back cover of Van Halen 2 to be burned, buried with Dimebag.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done with that.
And can you look up that Glenn Tipton, Rob Halford, Blabbermouth, please?
All right.
I got to mention this. Years back when Sammy officially became the new frontman for Van Halen, there was a lot of stories been coming out in the press at that time saying that Hagar was originally considered to be the singer of Van Halen instead of Roth years before. And wouldn't you know, years later, he becomes the singer of Van Halen.
Yeah, it's
Judas
funny
Priest,
'cause
Rob Hartford shares. Judas Priest, Rob Hartford shares his new photo of Glenn Tipton.
Yep.
Judas Priest singer Rob Hartford has posted a new photo of the band's ailing guitarist Glenn Tipton. Earlier today, Hartford took to his Instagram to share a photo of him with his 74-year-old bandmate, apparently taken at one of their respective homes in the UK as they prepare to celebrate the holidays with their families. Rob wrote in an accompanying caption, "Merry metal, motivational, heavy metal, ink, metal music." It's just a bunch of hashtags. Tipton was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease 7 years ago after being stricken by the condition at least half a decade earlier. Tipton announced in the early 2018 he was going to sit out touring activities in support of Priest's latest album, Firepower. He was replaced by Firepower producer Andy Sneap, who is also known for his work in NWO, BHM, Revel's Hell, and Cult Thrash outfit Sabbath. When asked, Sabat. When asked
Sabat,
in a recent interview with Spain's Martisco Rock and if Tipton will be involved in the recording sessions for Priest's next album, Rob said there's ways of doing this. Glenn can still play the guitar. He plays it differently, but he can still play. He walked out with us on Bloodstock recently and played Metal Gods Breaking the Law.
Bloodstock, that Wiccan, that's the new Whackin' Open Air name. The new name.
Yeah.
And Living After Midnight.
Nice.
I think it was. He can play. So he'll be on this next album. Whatever work he does, he's valuable, really important. He's a member of Judas Priest. He's still there. He's still an important component of the band, and this band represents particularly in the writing sense. He made a massive contribution to the songs that we have so far, and will still keep writing. And we'll still keep putting together the ideas, because you can never not stop writing. The calendar tells you, the label says we would like a record, blah blah, because it takes months to prepare and then months of promotion, and the clock is ticking. So yeah, he's good, man. He's still a fighter. He never lets anything stop him. He's a great force for people that live in their lives actively and productively with Parkinson's. So he's still very much like that No Surrender song, a heavy metal hero. Bassist Ann Hill is the sole remaining original member of Priest, which formed in 1969. Hoffer joined the group in 1973, and Tipton signed on in 1974. Rob left Priest in early 1990s to form his own band, then came back to Priest in 2003.
Fight the band 2 with John 5. What year was that?
That was in 1998. John Lowry was his real name back then. Who, by the way, I think I remember telling you guys about this. Who was in a band called Pepperland? He used to sing, he used to play the Ritz and Roseville. Hold on a second. Carry on.
All right, Keith, go ahead and talk. Let Brown
right.
breathe.
All right, let me get back to it. Let's see. Founding guitarist KK Downing parted ways with the band in 2011 and was replaced by Richie Faulkner.
Yeah.
Some of the other members of Priest have also dealt with various health setbacks in recent years. Hoffer recently publicly revealed that he battled prostate cancer during the pandemic. He previously mentioned his cancer battle in the new chapter added to the updated paperback edition of his autobiography, Confess. In Confess, Hoffer revealed that he was diagnosed with cancer after experiencing symptoms for at least a couple of years. In July 2020, Rob underwent prostatectomy, an operation where the entire prostate gland is removed.
All right. Well, anyway, can we move on to another topic? And Keith, look this up. We get it, Keith. Yeah, you did good.
Well, prostate cancer is a big deal. That's what took Dan Fogelberg.
And
I
Frank
give you like
Zappa.
2 minutes.
Well, listen, we need to get into. Have you heard about the Ted Nugent versus? He was going against someone. Let me look. Ted Nugent Blast.
But then again, you know, Nugent has been known to go after other artists. I know, like, I guess.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
Let me look. It's pretty good stuff here.
All right.
Talk about Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, I know that there.
Yeah, we need Keith to look up the Alec Baldwin and Ted Nugent
Beef there. I see.
Stuff.
All right, I'm looking up right now.
All right. I bet you he has a lot to say about what happened with Alec Baldwin during that movie set there. And somebody's making noise in the background there.
Oh, okay, I'll mute.
All right. So you think Alec Baldwin is going to get charged pretty soon there, or what?
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's kind of funny because he spoke out loud about, he spoke out against, firearms here and there. And I guess here he is using a firearm that's supposed to not go off or something like that. And all of a sudden, someone gets killed. Wouldn't you know?
All right, give me like 30 seconds.
All right. 30 seconds?
Yep.
All right.
All right, I'm going back outside.
All right.
Okay, here's
Let's
another.
see.
Here's a question we haven't. Here's a
I am
question we haven't
ready.
answered. Hold on.
Okay.
Here's a question we haven't. Have y'all ever traveled good distance to go see a concert, or has it always
No,
been
not me.
local?
Not me, no.
It's always been local for me.
I traveled from Dallas to San Antonio to see the first McCartney concert I saw. And I traveled from Dallas to, when I say from Dallas, I mean the area. I've never lived in Dallas.
Wow.
But I drove to Austin to see the Trower Frampton thing at some kind of little outdoor thing.
All right.
That's a good thing about Texas. There's at least 4 major cities, like WWE, for example. They'll always, they'll hit San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Houston, always.
Yeah.
And then El Paso's kind of big or whatever would be considered.
Yeah,
I remember
but they're
they-
kind of away from.
Yeah, they're still on the way on the other side of Texas, on the left side there.
Like I remember, like when Raw and SmackDown, like before SmackDown was like on Fox and stuff, like SmackDown would get like the kind of shittier cities. So like a Raw would hit Houston, but then like a SmackDown would hit Corpus Christi, a way smaller town. But um, that's what Iron Maiden's doing this other leg of this Legacy tour is they're hitting like cities they haven't been to in a while or cities they haven't been to at all, like El Paso they're hitting. Yeah. They're coming to Texas, but they're only hitting El Paso and another city, I forget. But
I think it was possibly Austin, I think it mentioned there.
I mean, what about obviously the COVID bullshit, but like AC/DC, they came out with a new album. Obviously, you know, they're probably going to do some kind of big tour. Would y'all want to go see AC/DC? Would you pay to see AC/DC?
No.
Not really, because we all know the songs at the back of our hand.
Right.
We all know the song. You
got to keep in mind it'll be like it's probably like their last. It'll probably like their last time. Like we'll probably never see Ozzy live ever.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I actually saw a concert with Black Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy, when they made that tour after the reunion.
Oh, wow.
Pantera opened in
Incubus. What year? What year?
Oh, shoot.
I think it may have been 1999.
I think that's correct. But I remember seeing them with Pantera and Incubus. And actually, we got there late. So we didn't see Incubus. We heard them as we were walking in. And then,
I like Incubus. I like Incubus.
Then we did get to see Pantera and obviously Sabbath. Because that was a band I was coming to see.
Absolutely. The only time I ever saw Black Sabbath was actually in 1983 when they had Ian Gillan as their frontman. It was the Born Again tour that year. In fact, I got to tell this little story here. They had this massive Stonehenge set. I guess it was one of the album tracks on that album was an instrumental called Stonehenge. So they came up with this massive Stonehenge stage design there. Now, the problem was half the venues that they would play there, they were not able to get some of those props through the door there a couple times there. And I guess that gave gateway to the Stonehenge bit in the Spinal Tap movie a year later.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember that.
I know, yeah.
Should I read the article now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Ted Nugget to Alec Baldwin. You should be in a...
Nugent.
Nuggets.
No,
What?
Nugent.
Oh, Ted Nugent to Alec Baldwin. You should be in a cage for the rest of your rotten punk ass life. Ted Nugent. I don't even know who the fuck Ted Nugent is. Ted Nugent said
he's a fucking Republican American, just like us.
D-Town, Detroit, Michigan, baby.
All right.
Yeah, and if you want to hear some really good music, you need to dial up some of the Nugent stuff.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Double Live Begonzo.
I don't even listen to music anymore. The last time I listened to the radio was February 2020.
Radio's not the way to go.
Radio flows.
I don't even listen to music on YouTube anymore. I just listen to shows in this community, and that's it. And sometimes stuff that YR sends me about like
Keith,
jumper.
Keith, you need to start listening to music once more, dude.
No,
wait, what does YR hold on, what does YR send you stuff about?
No Jumper.
Yeah, Adam 22.
No what?
A rap podcast.
Yeah. Ted Nugent says that Alec Baldwin should spend the rest of his life in prison for shooting and killing cinematographer Holly Hutchins on the set of the film Rust. Earlier in the month, Baldwin made a surprising claim during his first major interview since the fatal shooting, saying that the trigger wasn't pulled when a live round was discharged and ended up mortally wounding Hutchins and injuring director Joel Souza in the October 21st tragedy. Nugent, who is the national spokesman for pro-hunting lobbying group Hunter Nation, touched upon the incident in the new interview with Rock Titan TV. He said, "There's only one gun law you need on planet Earth, and that is never point a weapon at anything you're not willing to destroy." Hey, Alec Baldwin, you prick, you soulless, nasty, rotten prick, he continued. You were pointing the
dude.
gun at a human being. You killed her. You're guilty. I don't want to hear about the hammer. I don't want to hear about that trigger. You were pointing it at a human being. You're guilty. You should be in a cage for the rest of your rotten punk ass life. In an
Oh,
in-depth
Maybe he should say what he
now
thinks.
that's what I call a promo.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he should say
in
what
a-
he thinks.
Yeah. In an in-depth interview with ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, Baldwin said that he had started to cock the gun and release the hammer, but that I never pulled the trigger. A script supervisor sued producers, including Baldwin, saying scene did not call for gun to be fired. Other people have blamed Baldwin for Hutchins' death, including former U.S. President Donald Trump, whom Baldwin famously enraged with his long-running Saturday Night Live impression. In an interview last month, Trump slammed Baldwin as a cuckoo bird and a nut job, adding,
Yes.
usually when there's somebody like that, in my opinion, he had something to do with it. But if nothing else, but if nothing else, how do you take a gun and just, whether it's loaded or not, how do you take a gun, point it at somebody that's not even in the movie and just point it at this person and pull the trigger and now she's dead? He added, following Hutchins' death, the former president's son, Donald Trump Jr., made headlines when he sold T-shirts on his website that mocked the shooting. The $28 shirts featured the message, "Guns don't kill people, Alec Baldwin kills people."
Oh,
Nugent has called Donald Trump the greatest president in our lifetime. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He also said the billionaire real estate mogul represents the heart and soul of the best American families out there. Leading up to the 2020 presidential election, Nugent teamed up with Donald Trump Jr. on the campaign trail. Last month, Nugent recently redesigned from the board of the National Rifle Association after 26 years. Resigned from the board of the National Rifle Association after 26 years, released the official lyric video for his new song, "Come and Take It."
Why did that, Brown? Why did he resign? That was a good organization.
I don't
wasn't it?
know. I do not know. I didn't hear about this until now.
I could look up why he resigned.
I'm actually on Baldwin's side on that Baldwin issue. Honestly, I mean, I don't know about Drew.
You think
in there.
you think it was an accident or
I think,
was
yeah. I mean,
Well, I don't think he
tons of
intentionally
conspiracies
shooted anybody.
no, it wasn't really
all
intentional.
these
We all know
white
that.
Republican men, obviously, like Ted Nugent, that likes Trump, white Republican racist men, obviously, yes, it was an accident.
Well, there are black men who who are Republicans.
Young
as
Democrat,
well
right back at you. Thank you, Young D.
there. Dude.
Oh, that's not a good name.
I know. Yeah.
That's not a good.
Then
Yeah.
Bullfrog would be knocking on your doorstep.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
I'm all yours.
The track will appear on Nugent's recently completed new studio album called Detroit Muscle, which is due on April 29, 2022 via Pavement Music. In recent months, Nugent has been selling hats emblazoned with the words "Come and Take It," a slogan which originated in the Texas Revolution in 1835 and is now used as a symbol of gun rights advocates and the NRA.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot as of late. I've been seeing that a lot.
Brown smoking
And
a fat ass joint rolled by Tony.
Yeah, no, please, that moron. I know for some reason, since this whole bullshit came, I got this whole thing there. I've been coughing like a motherfucker, and it's driving me nuts. So everybody listen out there, you have my apologies ahead of time there. But damn, that's what I call a fucking badass promo.
He always used that Gibson. What was it?
Birdland.
Birdlander.
Birdland.
Yeah.
That's a signature guitar there.
I have an article.
old big
Ted
body
Nugent
guitar.
resigns from NRA board over scheduling conflicts.
Oh,
You want me to read it?
go ahead.
Maybe he's still a member.
Did you?
Rock and roll guitarist and gun enthusiast Ted Nugent is resigning from the board of the National Rifle Association after 26 years. Nugent, who once recorded a song titled "I Am the NRA," is stepping down due to ongoing schedule conflicts, according to a July 29th meme from General Counsel John Fraser, reviewed by Bloomberg News. Nugent has served on the group's 76-member board since 1995, according to a website that tracks the gun group. You want me to keep reading?
Yeah, go ahead, dude. Yeah.
Okay. Representatives for Nugent and the NRA didn't respond to multiple requests for comment. An outdoor group called Hunter Nation announced earlier this month that Nugent was going to become its national spokesperson. The Trace reported Nugent's resignation earlier today. Nugent made his name with hard-driving hits like the 1970 standard Cat Scratch Fever. His time on the NRA's board has been marked by outspoken support for the gun rights group and fierce criticism of many of its opponents, including the Democratic Party and the Black Lives Matter movement. Nugent's website describes him as pro-gun, pro-freedom, and pro-America. His departure comes at a time... Man, Black Lives Matter movement only want gun rights to be taken away for police. Fuck them.
Precisely.
They're just as...
No,
just
Keith,
as
no
bad as-
political views here. No political views. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, so your name is not Young Republican anymore?
No, it's YR. It's a whole different thing.
Oh, okay.
Young retard or something. I don't know. There we
All
go.
right. His departure comes at a time when the NRA is facing declining revenues and rising legal costs related to several court battles, including a failed bid earlier this year to use a federal bankruptcy filing to move from New York to Texas. It's now defending a lawsuit filed by a New York Attorney General, Letitia James, who was accused the nonprofit and top executives of misappropriating assets and called for its dissolution. The NRA and its executives have denied any wrongdoing. Okay, it's done.
Oh,
What was I gonna say?
right.
Well, I know Ted Nugent does some political songs, or has done some.
Yeah, he
One-
has.
Most
Well, the
memorable
two
one for
biggest
me.
guys. My bad. Go ahead, and then I got something after.
Well, the
All right.
biggest one I remember is "Kiss My Ass."
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that one. That was a good one there.
Yo, Travis
Kiss
DLC.
my ass, da 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 da. Kiss my ass, da 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 da. Kiss my ass, da 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 da. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you remember the verses, he pretty much blasts. Well, when he wrote the song, Jimmy Carter was in charge.
Oh yeah,
he
I
pretty
see
much
there.
blasted him and Janet Reno and
Bill Clinton as well.
not at that time, because maybe he did. Yeah, it could have been Bill and Hillary both.
All right.
It's been a while since I heard it, but I do know he does blast. I guess you would call the Democrat Party.
All right.
Yo, like the entire Democratic Party needs to commit suicide.
Uh-oh, here we go, political again.
Oh boy.
All right, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
That's yeah, but you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna say no more about that there.
I didn't threaten anybody.
I know. We came up with a good suggestion.
Yep. Aw, man, when am I getting the new tripod? My tripod is falling apart.
When we fucking get donations, it's been a little.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I haven't
Keith?
gone live in a while.
Are you down in Texas too, Keith?
No, he's
No,
in
I'm
Florida.
in Florida.
Fucking the tropical fucking paradise.
Yep. It's
Great.
like it's 66. I think it's 66 degrees right now.
Oh,
So
wow.
it feels good. It feels good right now.
Mm.
We do have the world premiere of YR's newest community drama show
Ah.
coming up after this one called Drama Storm.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
gonna be-
that being advertised there.
It'll be pretty wet, and obviously we'll keep it in the lines, but we will be discussing. Let's see the title. We'll be discussing what is considered going over the line, like on YouTube, on the internet. We'll be bringing up some situations. We'll be tackling some current drama. Of course, the Skype is open to everyone except
Alright.
for the people on the ban list. And we'll be having some fun tonight.
Hey.
And if anyone wants to donate to get Keith a tripod, donations will be
Oh, yeah.
open, of course. But any closing statements, guys? Is everyone? What's the topic for? Are we going live tomorrow too?
Going live tomorrow, and major one I was thinking was your first 10 albums that you bought.
Yeah,
And
you
if
remember
did-
you mentioned that
and
there.
and if you did singles, the first 5 singles.
Well, what about like or gifted? Because I got a lot of ones gifted young.
Yeah, because you got them.
Because I was
Sure.
and then because look, you got to think, bro. Like, brother, when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, that's when like iPods came out
Right.
and the MP3 players. So like I went to that,
Yeah.
but like I was gifted CDs in the 90s, obviously.
Well,
that's
when I
kinda
say
it came
albums,
into.
I meant, album type
What-
material, CDs,
Right.
vinyl, whatever.
See, it's gonna be a rat because y'all obviously probably got records, 8 tracks, cassette tape. I mean, I cassette tapes. I have a couple. I'll throw
Only
in there,
thing
but yeah, that'll be
That
fun.
consisted
Yeah.
of an album,
All right.
But it'd be interesting to see the first 10 because right now I'm going to tell you my first 10 are going to be a lot of bands that you guys have never heard of, or you're going to go, that sure is old. Well, yeah, but it was new when I got it.
Yeah.
Well, Keith did a lot of CD burning,
Oh, yeah.
or that and like cassette burning off radio.
Yep.
Stuff
Or
off the radio.
cassette recording, as it
know.
was called then.
Yeah, I was like burning CDs for free and giving them to people, like
Wow.
all the way up to like 2014.
Oh, wow. Bad. A lot of people are going to be, I guess the record company is going to be coming down on you because that's taken from their revenue there.
Oh, well, that was like, well, it's been 8 years and they haven't come down on me yet.
Now,
Well, they're just
Now
not
they
hearing
say-
about it. I'm
What?
kidding. I said they're
That's
just
right.
now hearing about it. I was kidding.
oh, dude.
No, I don't do that anymore because I realized that everyone can just go on YouTube and listen to any song they want to hear at the moment.
Bullfrog just
on
got
YouTube.
fucking 12 Michael Jackson albums for $75.
What?
Yep, that was like
Really?
that's
Yeah,
so.
last week.
In my opinion, that's like very stupid to do.
By Michael Jackson albums?
Buy CDs, buy albums. Like you got YouTube, man. YouTube is the best place for music like ever.
Yeah, but then again, keep in mind, there are times when you don't have a YouTube or have any YouTube with you. Like, say, if you're riding a bike, if you're taking a walk, and such a things that I do, you could like to have those albums on your MP3 or cassette player at the time so you can listen to anytime you want to.
You could just get YouTube on your phone while you're
I know, yes,
while you're
but
walking.
I know I could do that, but the problem is, with my case, when I try to put it in lock, the music stops on YouTube. So the best thing to do is to have it recorded onto your music list.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if if I did that, like I would just keep the screen open.
Mm.
But like, or you could get YouTube Premium, which you could turn your screen off. You could do other stuff on your phone. Like I have
Yeah, but you
YouTube
have to pay
Premium.
for that, Keith. You have to pay for
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
You
It's
have it
only-
now,
yeah.
really? You really
It's
have
only
YouTube
thir-
Premium?
Yeah, I have YouTube Premium. I'm
What?
never
Wow.
like getting rid of YouTube Premium. I love it so much. Never getting rid of it.
Don't you have to pay about $11 or something each month?
13,
Oh wow.
$12.99.
Damn.
To me, it's worth it. Like, I'd rather pay for YouTube Premium than pay to go on someone's Patreon.
Mm. The problem I have with the YouTube Premium is that you have to pay for it. But then again, you often suggest that so you can, because you often get sick and tired of the stupid ads in the middle of the clips that you're watching there.
Right. I haven't seen ads in years.
Well, lucky you. I'm still
Yeah.
dealing with them on my phone
Okay.
at least.
Yeah. I mean, but like, if you don't have YouTube Premium, like you're taking a walk outside, you could just like leave the screen on
Mm.
and like turn like I have like a pop socket on the back of my phone, so I could just hold the phone and like look at the back of the phone and have YouTube like facing away from me, so I just hear the audio.
Ah. All right, there. All right. So I guess that's the end of this particular discussion. I guess you could say there.
Okay.
All right. Unless anybody has anything else to contribute.
Well, we'll be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Discussing. I already got the stream put up. Our top 10 record, cassette, CD purchases in our life.
All right, there. Yes.
So everyone
For
in
me,
the chat, make
for
your
me, it was
list. Have your
records.
list ready to Derailed. I expect you to have a list.
In fact, the
call in.
derailed. Yeah, so I was going to say, call in, Drew. Definitely.
Well, it's Christmas, but if you can make a list, a pre-list, put that in the chat or
All right,
send
there.
it or whatever.
Wait,
Or, you know.
a list of what?
Oh, what?
What a
What'd
list
you
of
miss,
what?
Keith?
Keith, wake up.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to do a list of our first 10 CD, tape,
Albums.
cassette, album
Collections of
purchases,
songs, whatever
or
you-
basically gifts,
All right.
All right.
All right, there.
And your top 5 singles if you did singles.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
I only bought 4 rock CDs.
All right.
And I burned one, so that's 5.
All right.
That counts too.
Okay.
Discovering
All right.
new music, but we do have a huge drama show, a lot of special guests tonight, and it's going to get pretty beefy.
All right.
I'll be
nice.
calling a lot of people out. Keith has a problem with a couple people. I'll probably get Minnesota on. And
Yeah,
then
that-
discussing the issues, and then everyone's invited. If you want to come on there, Dr. Brown later or whatever
Yes,
you're doing.
definitely. I would like to. I'm gonna check out what needs to be done here around the house here, and then I'll definitely join in on the program because I want to talk about something that I recently. There's a Twitter page called Cronin Clips, and I replied. I replied to little. They asked if they provide any clips of Joe Cronin being the hypocrite that he is. So I provided this little screenshot of a DM that Joe Cronin sent me saying, take down that video of Mars. He is a liar. He tells lies
What?
about everybody. He did. In fact, still got the screenshot. I'm going to put it into Skype chat right now.
All right.
Okay. All right, there.
Joe
No.
Joe took down the self-destruction of Mars Mirror?
No, I don't.
Okay.
He did? I don't know.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
No. No, it was something that. Come on, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there. It should be coming up pretty soon. There. All right.
Okay.
I did a video on my channel, figuring, hey, let's have Mars Mirror and Joe Cronin, come on the air with me to boost my channel there. Certainly, there